Yesterday, man delivered 23 handmade crosses to Alabama, honoring the 23 tornado victims there to make sure they are never forgotten. And we take you to a disturbing crime. Who would steal a puppy from a pet store? Well, one man did. We have the video. Plus, a Kentucky zoo was closed yesterday due to the discovery of a sinkhole nearly the size of a football field.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on this Thursday. It's March the 7th. I'm Will Puckett, and thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Well, there's frost on your windshield, even though the temperatures are getting a little bit higher every morning, so give yourself a little extra time and prepare for that. But besides that, Brandon, today shouldn't be too bad of a day, at least early, right?
During the daytime hours, you're right. Tonight could be a different story, and we're continuing to track that, and we'll have the full forecast in a few minutes. But let's get you some current conditions right now outside in Whitesburg. It looks pretty quiet this morning. Not much traffic moving around, and not too bad. Temperature-wise, 21 in Moorhead, 23 here in Hazard, 24 Jackson, Prestonsburg, and Pikeville, 25 in London, and 28 down in Middlesboro, 30 the warm spot down in Jacksboro, Tennessee. But again, max warming needed because we're still below freezing this morning. Hopefully that trend will change tomorrow morning. But again, we pick up light snow overnight, especially in those northern counties, and that could create some issues for you on your Friday morning drive. I'll have more on that forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, we'll throw it back over to you in just a bit. Well, in Alabama, the search for tornado survivors ended with much needed good news. The last of the missing were all found alive. Omar Villafranca has the story of a family that ended up in hospitals 100 miles apart.
Ben Robertson has never flown on an airplane.
First time I ever flown was on a tornado.
That ride broke the 34-year-old's leg and ankle, but not his spirit.
Ever since this happened, I have not been sad, upset, angry, or anything.
Because your two biggest things in your life are still alive.
I'm thankful everything's okay.
His wife, Megan Robertson, is recovering from a broken hip at another hospital, as is his 5-year-old son, Eli. We were there when they spoke on video chat for the first time since the tornado hit.
Hey, buddy. How are you feeling?
Oh, he's fine.
Eli will be out of the hospital this week.
He's been up and at 'em.
I'm sure he has.
All Ben remembers is that seconds before the tornado hit, he was in the bathroom holding on to his wife while she clutched their son. Somehow, they all survived. A family member took this picture of Eli's back while in the hospital.
Is that bruise your wife's hand?
Yes, sir. That's what they tell me.
So the mother's love leaves a little bit of a bruise.
That's why he's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing left of their home, and they don't even have health insurance. But Ben's not worried.
How are you keeping that smile on your face?
I don't know, man. It's the work of God, I guess. That's all I can say, man.
The tornado destroyed everything he owns, except what really matters. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Opelika, Alabama.
Well, Greg Zanis has devoted his life to honoring victims of tragedy. The retired carpenter crafts crosses by hand in honor of the dead. Yesterday, he delivered 23 of them to Alabama, honoring the 23 tornado victims there. The handmade crosses bear the names of those killed. Zanis's mission is to comfort those left behind, to let them know their loved ones are not forgotten. Zanis has made crosses for tens of thousands of victims of tragedy ever since the massacre at Columbine High School in 1999. Well, after nearly a week and a half, floodwaters have finally receded in most parts of Leslie County. Crews are now seeing the damage left in the flooding's wake, but there are still about a dozen homes that are cut off. WYMT's Connor James updates us on what's to come for areas of the county like Confluence, which was hit the hardest.
For emergency management crews,
yes, it's been hectic.
Flooding in Confluence has been an around-the-clock job. Emergency Management Director Anthony Hacker is relatively new to the job.
About a month. What's about a month?
And now that waters are finally receding in Confluence.
Now the roads are damaged, but they're passable, so we're hoping we can keep improving them as we go along.
He's finally beginning to log damages, hoping for state and FEMA funds.
I think we've got probably, rough guess, 10 to 15 houses that are still waterbound.
In one of those houses is Monica Gibson.
This is about the worst it's ever been since I've been down here.
For 37 years, she's called this place home.
And we're one of the last ones to get back home.
But she's had to, unfortunately,
my family's been out of our home for 14 days now.
Go somewhere else.
We've had to stay in a hotel.
A teacher at West Perry Elementary.
And we've been out over $2,000 already.
She can't miss work. And this isn't the first time.
We were out for a week and a half last year.
She's had to do it.
So I guess we're, like they say, up the creek without a paddle again.
And she's just hoping,
literally,
something will be done so this won't happen next year too. In Leslie County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the National Guard was dispatched to Leslie County for a few days to help out. They left late Tuesday night, however. Crews say in the coming days, hopefully the water will completely clear from the remaining areas. Well, we have an update on a high-profile case out of Leslie County. Alyssa Noble is accused of hitting and killing Paige Hayes in a drunk driving crash in August of 2017. A pretrial hearing is now scheduled for May the 1st. Her jury trial is expected to begin July 22nd. Well, on February 23rd, a crash in Floyd County nearly killed 18-year-old Kate Lackey. However, she is slowly improving and was recently taken off of a ventilator. Doctors plan to move Kate to Good Samaritan Hospital yesterday. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked to her sister about their journey since the crash.
A creator.
Kate was her own person. She's always had a very unique, creative personality.
Known for her quirky personality, Kate Lackey had her hands into a little bit of everything.
And it seemed that every month was a different genre of creation.
From painting, videography, cheerleading, and even makeup.
I've got this bomb makeup on by Kate Lackey.
She would have been doing my makeup today.
But everything changed after a car crash in Floyd County.
You see things online or you hear about them on the news and you just don't think that that could be a reality for your family.
She was on her way from a friend's house when the crash happened.
I didn't expect to get to the hospital and her not be responsive.
As the youngest of three, Kate never let her size lessen her voice.
If she wanted to do something, no one was going to stop her. And that's why I feel like that this recovery may be long, but she's going to get there.
And although these crash photos are hard to look at,
she has already came farther faster than what they expected.
Family say she is a miracle and she's fighting every day. In Floyd and Pike County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, police are still investigating the cause of the crash. Meanwhile, U.S. Marshals shot and killed a suspect in Morgantown who was wanted for the attempted murder of a police officer. Morgantown police say they responded just after 12:15 yesterday afternoon to a shots fired call. Officers say the suspect was armed with a handgun, fled from marshals, and at one point shot at a marshal. According to police, marshals then shot and killed the suspect. Police have not released the suspect's name. Well, a disturbing crime caught on camera. Police in Greenup County say a man walked out with a puppy taken from a pet store. Take a look at this. You see the man walk over to a shelf. As he walks away, he hides the puppy in his coat. He later leaves with his family in a minivan. The owner of Burt's Pet Center says the Chihuahua was on display at the front of the store. He says they noticed the puppy was gone minutes after the man took off.
Family come in last night that caught us busy and were able to hand the puppy to their daughter and made it to the back of the store, and they then concealed the dog and walked out of the store with it.
Now, there is a happy ending to this story. After the owner posted surveillance video of the theft, the puppy was returned. Well, it was a sinkhole nearly as large as a football field, and it was discovered at the Louisville Zoo. Here it is. It's just absolutely incredible. Look at it. The discovery led to the zoo closing for the day yesterday. The sinkhole is in an undeveloped area away from any zoo animals. No people or animals were reported injured and no buildings damaged. The sinkhole is about 50 feet deep in spots. Well, a Northwest Atlanta restaurant is destroyed after a fire early yesterday morning. The fire started at around 2:45 a.m. at the Bees Cracklin' BBQ. Officials say the owner of the restaurant arrived before fire crews and actually tried putting out the flames himself, but the fire started to spread too quickly. The roof of the building collapsed as crews were battling heavy flames. No injuries, thankfully, were reported.
Well, this morning it's not as cold as it has been. That's the headline of the day. But again, over McKee this morning, a little bit more cloud cover, maybe a few flakes of snow flying as well. We'll take a look at the satellite radar here in a few minutes and live pinpoint Doppler radar. But the temperatures are the big story, climbing quickly already. 21 in Moorhead to 30 in Jacksboro. That's your range. The almanac for today, 41's our forecast high. Average high for this time of year is 54. The record of 80 was set back on this day in 2000. So as we track out your daytime hours on the WYMT weather app, you can see mostly cloudy skies for much of the day. Will take us into the 30s and 40s as we head deeper into the forecast. And then this evening, that's when some more action gets started, and we'll talk more about that here in a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. More news is on your way. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to go behind the scenes with Coach Cal and the Wildcats? Well, we'll have a rare look inside for you. Plus, Chick-fil-A's name could temporarily also be known as Fish Filet. Don't worry, the chicken isn't going anywhere. We'll tell you more.